Here's another one-on-one between Pabst Blue Ribbon and Narragansett. Pabst Blue Ribbon being 4.7 ABV and rated at 69 on Beer Advocate, I think, versus Narragansett out of Rhode Island. The beer that Quint drank in Jaws. .5% ABV and rated at 77 on Beer Advocate, I think. But if I'm wrong, I do believe it is in the 70s. Now, of the big four adjunct lagers, which I would consider to be big four in my opinion, Budweiser, Miller High Life, Coors Banquet, and Pabst Blue Ribbon. This is the highest rated beer, because Budweiser and Miller are rated in the 50s. I can't remember what Coors is rated. It's pretty low. But this is surprisingly rated at 69. This is a sweet beer and it doesn't have a bad aftertaste. When I poured this, these two poured with about the same amount of foam. This one retained the head a little bit longer. The head on the Pabst is essentially gone. Just a bit of foam around the edge. You still have a little bit of foam here on the Narragansett. The color appears to be a little bit darker for Narragansett. So, a one-on-one, because I have some leftover beers. I have one more Narragansett after this, and I have a Miller High Life, so that might be next. I have a Busch and a Rolling Rock. And I think I have a Coors. So, that is a fairly strong beer. I suspect it is Narragansett. It's got some bite. It's got some tang. I'm going to open my eyes because I don't know when this fucking camera is going to shut off unexpectedly. So, surprisingly, that has some flavor too, and it's smooth. This one, I would say, is a bit harsher than this. It's got more tang and more bite to it, and the feel. The flavor is very similar. They're both very similar in flavor, but this one is slightly stronger. But the thing is, it's when they get down, when more than half is gone, the taste and the feeler is going to start changing a bit. I'm pretty sure this is a Narragansett, and I think that I'm developing a taste for it because of its harshness, because of its strength. It's a beer that you could say that's, well, if you remember the old Schlitz commercial, Schlitz has gusto, and that's kind of what this has, to me anyway. Gusto, at least compared to this. Yeah, I believe I was right. I believe that is the Narragansett. Yeah. So I'll put it back over here. But I'm kind of surprised that Pabst does pretty well as far as American adjunct lagers go. I'm kind of surprised that it came near the end on my 7 beer rankings, 7 American lager rankings. Because this really isn't that bad. But when I compared it against the other beers were better. And I guess it could be because this is just too plain. Now, the flavor is already starting to change, it seems. When it was full, when it was fresh out of the can, it was nice. A decent flavor. It had some crispness to it. It had a bite to it. And I liked it. But now, it's lost its edge. Narragansett, at this point, is much more flavorful. There's a difference, and it's like bumping it up a couple of notches, taking this one and just adding a bit more flavor and a bit more strength to it, better mouthfeel, more bite. Even though the carbonation at this point seems that the carbonation, the Narragansett might be producing a few more bubbles, but regardless of how many bubbles you see coming up in the liquid itself, it's how it feels on the tongue, which doesn't always correspond to the amount of bubbles coming up. It's an easy drinking beer, but it's getting plain. And that's the thing that I found out with Pabst after doing numbers of reviews and comparisons with Pabst against other beers is the more Pabst that I drink, the more boring it gets. It's kind of like watching a bad sitcom where you watch a sitcom on TV, and the first time you watch it, you think, that's kind of funny. But every episode, it's pretty much the same jokes over and over, the same plots, the same everything. Just it's monotonous. Nothing creative about it. So that's kind of the way Pabst is to me.